About 3 years ago, I collapsed with low sugar level and went to the hospital, sent me in an ambulance, and they checked my vitals and realized that my kidneys were bad. Then they referred me to the kidney clinic, and for 2 years they were trying to get me into the clinic, and I refused to acknowledge that I had a problem until about a year ago. My son noticed a sore on the bottom of my foot. And so we went to the doctor, and they did blood work, realized my kidneys were really bad. And that's when I decided my daughter pushed me to get checked out. And so I went and realized that my kidneys were bad. And then after that, I knew that I had to change my lifestyle. My children always bugged me to quit smoking, always asked me. And then I promised them once I start dialysis, I'd quit. And so I started on dialysis 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And it's been hard. It's a life change. I won't kid you. You change everything. My eating habits, my salt intake, my water intake. The one thing I'm proud of is I quit smoking, and my goal is to go on kidney transplant list. And I quit September 12th, and March 12th is my 6 months where I'm eligible to go on the kidney transplant. And it's a fight. I know I won't get back to the way I was, but as close as I can. And my motivation are my kids. I want to grow old with them. The doctor years ago told me that my kidneys were deteriorating, and that eventually that I'll be going on dialysis, and if I wanted to go on dialysis to stay the way I was, and my quality of life would change. And I always thought through the years it won't happen to me, because my personal belief on diabetes is it's a silent disease where you always feel you're okay, but inside your body's deteriorating without you knowing. And it wasn't until the end where, okay, now I know what he was talking about. And there was a lot of life changes I wish I would have done a long time ago. And now I can't dwell on it. I blame myself, and the hardship that I'm going through, it's something I got to deal with, and it's nobody to blame but me. I was told when I was 22, 23 years old, going to university. I was coming home from university at an hour and a half hour drive, and I stopped 6 times up to pee on the side of the road. That's when I knew something was up, and went to the doctor, and they told me I was a diabetic, and that was the first time I ever heard of diabetes. Then realized through talking with my family, I had a lot of family members that were diabetics. And I remember growing up as a kid, seeing my grandfather in the kitchen taking needles. He never explained until we were later what diabetes, and it was a shocker. When I first found out I was a diabetic, I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to have to go through. And times have changed where the medicine has changed and it's not so dramatic, but it's still a fight. I was pretty big. My highest weight was about 330 pounds when I was diagnosed. I realized I won't be able to do the stuff that I wanted to do with my son that I did with my daughter. And my goal is to be there when he graduates. That's another motivation, that I want to grow old with them. Be active. Watch what you eat. Your sugar. The hard part is the sugar, cutting out the sugar. Like having treats, stuff that that's full of sugar, but it's hard to stop. A lot of people that I know that were diabetics quit. They didn't want to fight anymore. And they are no longer with us. That I don't want to do. If you get kidney disease, get as much education as you can. Learn the do's and don'ts. And my main advice is have something to motivate you. Because I won't sugarcoat it, it's a hard journey. I met a girl. I was on a break during my training. She asked me why I was there. And I said, I'm doing training on dialysis. So she says, I've been on dialysis for 6 years. And she explained what to expect. That it'll be hard, you'll get tired, and which was helpful to me. When I first started dialysis, I was scared of what to expect, thinking, okay, that's the end. And after talking to her, who's been on it for 6 years, that, okay, I have time to change my lifestyle. I wish there was more peer counseling. Other people, like, it'd be beneficial if I knew somebody that looked like me that was on dialysis, that eased your mind. A lot of people that I know are diabetics, and I did not know that. And a lot of Native people, their diet, chances are they're going to be diabetics. I guarantee you that every Native family has at least one diabetic in their family. And I've told my kids, chances are you're going to become a diabetic. And my daughter didn't believe me. And she is now a diabetic. I see her going the same road I was going when I was that age. She smokes like I did. And she was active, but now she's not as active as she was. We were both into hockey, into sports. My oldest son, I tell him, exercise, because I don't want you to go through what I did. I have relatives that passed away of diabetes, and I had no idea they had it. Like recently, I had no idea there was a diabetic. And a lot of people, it's a silent killer. There's a lot of reasons why it's a silent killer. People refuse to acknowledge they have it. and acknowledge to change your lifestyle. Kidney disease is a silent killer. Both kidney disease and diabetes, you feel okay, but inside you don't. More emphasis on the procedures. A lot of procedures I learned on my own by the mistakes that I've made. What happens if you make a mistake? And information on why you're doing each step. If I had the information I have now, way back then, I don't think I would be at this place right now. But it's partly my fault for not getting more information. Ask your physician, your doctor, more questions, not ask them why, more of a why and how and what to do. Inform the outcomes. The outcomes and the reasonings, why you take certain medicines, what could happen. More or less information on the benefits and procedures. When I first started, it was a lot of, I went there not knowing nothing. And a lot of the times I'd walk out of there and I'd ask myself, why? What's the benefit of this? And I had to learn on my own. I would like people when they go in there that before they leave, they know why they should do this. What's the benefits? And how it would help you. I have my mother, who's a big help. My kids, my daughter is my rock. My kids, they're my motivation. They told me the different kinds. They emphasized kidney transplant. And then they realized that I smoked, that I had to be off cigarettes for 6 months. That's when my son always told me to quit smoking, and it kind of in the back of the head, I thought, okay, once I go on dialysis, I'm quitting. And my 6 months, I know the date and the time where my 6 months are up. And then they told me the different kinds of dialysis, the twin bags and the cycle. And I started out on the twin bags and realized that with my lifestyle that it's time consuming. I requested to be on the cycle dialysis, so I trained on that. The benefits of that is it opens up my day, where I do my dialysis at night while I'm sleeping. The benefits of the twin bag is it's not as much supplies or procedure, but the downfall of that is you got to do it every 4 hours during the day, and you get your nights to sleep. So there's a benefit between the two. They're good and bad. They told me about the hemodialysis, which is not too good. The home dialysis is a lot better, a lot easier on your body. I've traveled. I've went to a different town, stayed at a hotel, with the cycler and took the cycler with me, all my supplies. The only thing I realized through trial and error that the cycle is a hard one to travel with. I'd rather travel with the twin bags because there's less supplies and a lot easier.
One of the advantages of peritoneal dialysis is that it is fairly easy to travel. It can be performed almost anywhere that is clean. Some peritoneal dialysis companies will deliver your solutions and supplies to your destination, even most places out of Canada. You generally will need to pay for shipping. It is best to contact the dialysis company at least 8 weeks in advance if traveling in Canada or the United States, or 12 weeks in advance if traveling internationally. Your cycler and other small supplies can be carried with you as carry-on luggage or shipped ahead as cargo. If you are traveling outside of Canada, you will need to make sure you have the necessary customs documents with you. Some other tips for travel. Ask your peritoneal dialysis unit about travel, and if traveling, ask them for the name and phone number of a dialysis unit near your travel destination in case you need help. Have a letter from your dialysis doctor explaining your peritoneal dialysis treatment. You will need this at the airport and any border. Check what is covered by your private and provincial medical health insurance if you are traveling outside of your province or Canada. Have a list of emergency contacts with you, such as the number of your peritoneal dialysis unit and your dialysis doctor. Bring up-to-date medical information, including your medications.
My main advice is have something to motivate you, because I won't sugarcoat it, it's a hard journey.